So you might not realize it, but there are a ton of companies out there collecting and selling your personal information online. Things like your name, your home address, your phone number, they're called data brokers, and they pull your information from public records, online forms, and just about anywhere else that they can scrape data from. Now, if you want that information taken down from the data broker sites, first you got to go site by site and find the information, and then you're going to have to request removal, which takes a ton of time. That's where a data removal service like DeleteMe comes in. They do all of that work for you, searching the internet for your personal information, sending opt-out requests on your behalf, and doing it over and over again because the brokers, they never really stop. In this video, we're diving into the DeleteMe experience, both how it works and what to expect in terms of what it can and can't do to help you decide if it is the right data removal service for you. Getting started with DeleteMe is a super easy process. It basically involves gathering up all of the personal information needed to start the removals. You start by filling out a data sheet, and this is a really comprehensive sheet. It's going to ask for a ton of information, including your name, current and former addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, relatives, for example, even your employer information. Now, this can definitely feel a little bit intrusive, providing all of this information to DeleteMe, but think about it this way. The more comprehensive that you are with filling out that data sheet, the better of a job DeleteMe is going to be able to do in finding and removing you from these data broker sites. Now, there are a few more elements that we wanted to mention on the data sheet that might stand out to you. One being identification. So DeleteMe does request that you upload a redacted version of your identification because some data brokers do require that identification in order to process a removal request. And then there's the authorization form, which is authorizing DeleteMe to act on your behalf to sign and submit these opt-out requests to the data brokers. And once you submit everything, when the data sheet is complete, you're all set. DeleteMe starts searching for you immediately across the internet, finding those profiles on those data broker sites, and starts requesting removals. You're going to be able to track and see what DeleteMe is doing in terms of removing your data from across the internet through a couple different places, the dashboard and the privacy reports. The dashboard gives you a real-time look at what's going on with your data. How many brokers have your data, how many listings were found and removed, and what types of data were exposed. For example, your address, your age, your family, and your phone number. Now, the dashboard definitely gives you a nice snapshot of what's going on with your data removal, but it's the privacy reports that are giving you that really comprehensive look. DeleteMe provides you with your first privacy report in just 7 days, and it includes information such as the total listings reviewed, how many listings were removed, the number of data brokers with your personal information, and the amount of time that they have estimated that they saved you thus far in searching and requesting to remove this information. It also gives you a detailed breakdown of all the data brokers that have your information, what specific information that they have, and the estimated removal time for each of them. The report also lets you know which data brokers don't have any information on you, the ones that you're clear of, as well as letting you know when DeleteMe is going to be scanning those brokers again. After that initial report, DeleteMe is going to be sending you updated privacy reports every 3 months, which is really great to be able to track your data removal journey along the way. Now, beyond reporting, DeleteMe also includes several privacy tools, including phone masking and email masking, but by far and away our favorite was the Search Yourself tool. You can do a Google search associated with your data sheet, let's say your name, for example, and it'll pull up all the results as you'd see on Google. From there, you can go through every search result individually and provide some feedback to DeleteMe, saying that you want to keep this result, you want to remove this result, or that this result isn't me. What can't DeleteMe remove? It's important to remember that DeleteMe is strictly targeting data brokers. So things like Google search results, social media posts, those are pieces of content that DeleteMe is not able to remove directly. Also, things like public records or press articles, those are other examples of things that DeleteMe can't remove. Now, there are a few things about DeleteMe's process and their broker coverage that isn't really clearly disclosed on the website that we think is important for you to know about. For example, DeleteMe's removal process is actually a combination of automated and manual removals. So it's really nice to have that human element. For example, at the time of this video, DeleteMe advertises removals on over 850 sites. But in reality, the standard plan, which is the default plan that you get when signing up for DeleteMe, that only covers automated removals from 86 of those data brokers. The rest of them require either a custom manual removal request or purchasing a higher tier that includes more sites in the automated removal process. And with those custom removal requests, know that they're not unlimited. With the standard plan, you get 10 requests per quarter, so make your selections wisely. We also wanted to touch on pacing, just how long it takes for DeleteMe to process all of these removals. And it's important to know that DeleteMe is a long-term process. We've been using the service for about 4 months now, and they've removed a ton of data from various data brokers. But it's important to know that a lot of the requests are still pending. They're still in the process. Some brokers don't like to cooperate. It takes them days, weeks, months to follow through on a removal request. And the custom requests, those also take a good amount of time. We made our first requests about a month ago now at the time of this video, and they're still actually in the process of being removed. But DeleteMe does let you know up front that these removals can be quite variable in the time that they take. Some just a few days, others can take quite some time. So I think it helps if you understand up front that that's the expectation. A great thing about DeleteMe is that if you have any questions, you can always reach out to customer support because they have a phone number, they have a live chat function, and they also have email where you can get your questions answered. We use the live chat function, and we're pleasantly surprised with just how quickly and thoroughly the agent that we talked to was able to answer the questions that we had about the DeleteMe service. So you love to see that. It's always reassuring to know that if you have any issues, that if you have questions, that you're going to be able to get a hold of a real person that can answer those for you. What type of plans does DeleteMe offer? They keep it pretty simple, offering 1 and 2 year plans for individuals, couples, and families. And all of these options are at DeleteMe's standard protection level, so you're going to get the same features across the board no matter which one that you choose. The pricing definitely varies based on the sales and promotions that they're running whenever you take a look at DeleteMe, but we'd say that in general, it does tend to cost a little bit more than some of the other data removal competitors out there, like Incogni, for example. But keep in mind that with DeleteMe, you're going to be getting a ton of value at that standard level that you're just not going to see at a comparable level with Incogni. For example, you're getting the combination of the automated removals, but also the human touch of the manual removals. And remember that you get those 10 custom removal requests quarterly, something that you're not going to get with the entry-level Incogni subscription. Wrapping it up, DeleteMe is a strong long-term option for cleaning up your online presence. Just be aware of its strengths and its limits. It's continuously looking for your personal information online, finding those data brokers that have it, and sending those opt-out requests. And you're informed of the progress through the dashboard, as well as those quarterly privacy reports, so you can see everything that DeleteMe has been up to. Just remember that DeleteMe isn't going to be able to completely erase you from the internet, as they don't have the ability to directly remove search results. They're focusing specifically on data brokers. Still deciding on a data removal service? Click the link below to check out our best data removal services page over on Security.org.